Okay, so we are recording right now, and I'm going to start with the brief mental status exam, the MSE form. And I'm Keisha Stephenson-Taylor.
Was on Rashid.
All right, and yeah, so I guess with this one, I just mark off, and then for the ones that like perception, I guess I ask a question of some sort. At least I'm assuming that's how this works.
Okay.
All right, so appearance, looks like pretty casual dress. And I'm just saying this out loud as I'm going so that you know like what I'm doing. I guess I don't know. I'm winging it.
Okay.
Okay. You look pretty calm, so I'll mark that for attitude. Okay, behavior. Not noticing anything funky. All right, speech is normal. Affect. Okay, I guess I'd check normal range for that. Mood. Okay, I don't even know what euphemic means.
I believe that means stable.
Euphemic, EUTHYMIC.
I believe that would be a normal content range.
Ah, okay.
Um,
Like
yeah,
I know happy, sad, mad. So
yeah, that's normal, tranquil mental state or mood.
okay. And then how do I even ask that? Okay, I'm on number 7, thought processes. I guess how's school going?
I think school's going
How's life?
pretty well. Nothing too crazy. I think my classes are interesting. Um, I like the fall more than the summer. I like having longer periods between my classes, but other than that, I think it's going pretty well.
Okay, cool. I guess you could call that goal directed and logical. I'm sorry, I'm not really sure how to do this. Okay, so Lizanne, or LR,
It's all good. It's fine.
okay. Um, have you ever had any thoughts of suicide in the past,
Nope.
say, a couple of weeks or ever?
Nope.
No?
None.
Okay, so none. Um, have you ever had any homicidal ideation?
None. Nope.
Okay. Um, have you had any sort of delusions or compulsions to like flip the light switch so many times a day or wash your hands so many times a day?
Nope.
Okay. Um, any phobias or things you're super afraid of right now?
Nope. None.
Okay. Right. Lizanne, have you ever had any hallucinations or delusions? Are you experiencing any right now?
Nope. None.
Okay. All right. And all right, that takes care of thought, content, and perception. Okay, orientation. Can you tell me the date today?
Today is September 28th. It is 3:44 p.m. Eastern Time Zone.
Okay, fabulous. All right. So orientation is all good. Okay, I'm not really sure how to assess for memory and concentration. Um,
For short term, you can say a few words. I can say them back. I think that's how it is.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
I think for short term, you say like a list of words or something, and I either repeat them back or you ask me about them.
Okay. So, Lizanne, I'm going to say a few short words, and I would like you to repeat them back to me
Okay.
as best as you can remember them, okay?
Okay.
So, apple, cherry, tree, bird.
Apple, cherry, tree, bird.
Okay, very good. I just randomly went with that. So,
Works for me.
all right. And Lizanne, I know you said you were here to see me for some sort of alcohol and substance abuse problems. What would you say, how would you describe those problems right now?
I feel like sometimes I'm okay with drugs and alcohol. If it's like in a public setting, you know, like recreational. But then sometimes I find myself doing it when I feel like no one else is, or I shouldn't be doing it. So I feel kind of bad about it.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like you have a pretty fair grasp of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lizanne, today we're going to do a couple of what's called inventories, and this is to help me get a sense of some of the things that you're dealing with, and then we can kind of go from there and develop some goals and some things to work towards in our therapy together. Okay?
All right.
So the first inventory we're going to do is called the Beck Depression Inventory, and it's about 21 questions, and each response has a number from 0 to 3.
Okay.
And I will read them off to you, and your job is to just tell me which number you think applies to you best.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is, on a scale of 0 to 3, what would you say your sadness is? 0, I do not feel sad. 1, I feel sad much of the time. 2, I am sad all the time. Or 3, I am so sad or unhappy that I can't stand it.
I'd say 1.
1, okay, thank you. All right. Number 2, on a scale from 0 to 3, 0, I am not discouraged about my future. 1, I feel more discouraged about my future than I used to be. 2, I do not expect things to work out for me. 3, I feel my future is hopeless and will only get worse.
I'd say 1.
All right. All right, from 0 to 3, 0, I do not feel like a failure. 1, I have failed more times than I should have. 2, as I look back, I see a lot of failures. 3, I feel I am a total failure as a person.
2.
2, okay. From 0 to 3, 0, I get as much pleasure as I ever did from the things I enjoy. 1, I don't enjoy things as much as I used to. 2, I get very little pleasure from the things I used to enjoy. Or 3, I can't get any pleasure from the things I used to enjoy.
I'd say 1.
1. 0, I don't feel particularly guilty. 1, I feel guilty over many things I have done or should have done. 2, I feel quite guilty most of the time. 3, I feel guilty all of the time.
I'd say 1.
Okay. 0, I don't feel I am being punished. 1, I feel I may be punished. 2, I expect to be punished. 3, I feel I am being punished.
0.
Okay. 0, I feel the same about myself as ever. 1, I have lost confidence in myself. 2, I am disappointed in myself. 3, I dislike myself.
0.
Okay. Okay. 0, I don't criticize or blame myself more than usual. 1, I am more critical of myself than I used to be. 2, I criticize myself for all of my faults. 3, I blame myself for everything bad that happens.
I'd say 1.
Okay. 0, I don't have any thoughts of killing myself. 1, I have thoughts of killing myself, but I would not carry them out. 2, I would like to kill myself. 3, I would kill myself if I had the chance.
0.
Okay. I don't cry any more than I used to. I cry more than I used to. I cry over every little thing. I feel like crying, but I can't.
0.
Okay. All right. I am no more restless or wound up than usual. I feel more restless or wound up than usual. I am so restless or agitated that it's hard to stay still. I am so restless or agitated that I have to keep moving or doing something.
2.
Okay. 0, I have not lost interest in other people or activities. 1, I am less interested in other people or things than before. 2, I have lost most of my interest in other people or things. 3, it's hard to get interested in anything.
1.
0, I make decisions about as well as ever. 1, I find it more difficult to make decisions than usual. 2, I have much greater difficulty in making decisions than I used to. Or 3, I have trouble making any decisions.
1.
Okay. 0, I do not feel I am worthless. 1, I don't consider myself as worthwhile and useful as I used to be. 2, I feel more worthless as compared to other people. 3, I feel utterly worthless.
1.
Okay. 0, I have as much energy as ever. 1, I have less energy than I used to have. 2, I don't have enough energy to do very much. 3, I don't have enough energy to do anything.
0.
Okay. 0, I have not experienced any change in my sleeping pattern. 1A, I sleep somewhat more than usual. 1B, I sleep somewhat less than usual. 2A, I sleep a lot more than usual. 2B, I sleep a lot less than usual. 3A, I sleep most of the day. Or 3B, I wake up 1 to 2 hours early and can't get back to sleep.
I'd say 2B.
Okay. 0, I am no more irritable than usual. 1, I am more irritable than usual. 2, I am much more irritable than usual. Or 3, I am irritable all the time.
0.
Okay. 0, I have not experienced any change in my appetite. 1A, my appetite is somewhat less than usual. 1B, my appetite is somewhat greater than usual. 2A, my appetite is much less than before. 2B, my appetite is much greater than usual. 3A, I have no appetite at all. 3B, I crave food all the time.
0.
0. Okay. 0, I can concentrate as well as ever. 1, I can't concentrate as well as usual. 2, it's hard to keep my mind on anything for very long. 3, I find I can't concentrate on anything.
1.
Okay. 0, I am no more tired or fatigued than usual. 1, I get more tired or fatigued more easily than usual. 2, I am too tired or fatigued to do a lot of the things I used to. 3, I am too tired or fatigued to do most of the things I used to do.
0.
Okay. And last one. 0, I have not noticed any recent changes in my interest in sex. 1, I am less interested in sex than I used to be. 2, I am much less interested in sex now. 3, I have lost interest in sex completely.
0.
Okay. All right, and I'm just going to score this real quick before we move on, okay?
Okay.
Okay. 7. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 and 7, that's 15. Okay. So it looks like, Lizanne, you have a very low level of depression. It looks like you're handling things very well right now with what's going on in your life. So I'd like to move on to the next inventory, which is going to assess for anxiety.
Okay.
And this is also a, let's see here. Okay, this has about 24 yes or no questions, and it also has a few questions that are going to be ranked on a scale from not at all to mild, like sometimes you're bothered with it, you're bothered with it moderately frequently, and then severely, which means it's a constant problem.
Okay.
So are you ready to begin?
Yep.
Okay, and I actually messed that up and jumped ahead a little bit. The 24 items is actually a completely different inventory, so
Okay.
my apologies.
Okay.
All right. So, are you experiencing any issues with numbness or tingling?
No, not at all.
Not at all? Okay. Any issues with feeling a little too hot?
No, not at all.
Okay. Any wobbliness in legs?
No.
And how's your relaxation? Have you ever been unable to relax?
I would say sometimes.
Okay. About how often in a given week?
I'd say 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay, so it sounds like moderately.
Moderately, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Do you have a lot of fear of the absolute worst thing possible happening?
I'd say mild.
Mildly? Okay. Any dizziness or lightheadedness?
No, not at all.
Okay. Any heart pounding or racing?
I'd say moderate.
Okay. Any feelings of unsteadiness?
I'd say mild.
Mild. Any feelings of being terrified or afraid?
No, not at all.
Any nervousness?
Mild.
Any feelings of being claustrophobic, a feeling of choking?
No, no.
Okay. Any hand trembling?
Mild.
Okay. Any shakiness or unsteadiness?
None.
Any feelings of fear of losing control?
Mild.
Okay. Any difficulties with breathing?
Mild.
Do you have any fears of dying?
None.
Any feelings of being scared?
None.
Okay. How do you feel after you've eaten a meal? Is there any indigestion going on?
I feel fine.
All right, not at all?
Not at all.
Okay. Any feelings of faintness or lightheadedness?
None.
Okay. Any feelings of your face being flushed?
None.
Okay. Any hot or cold sweats?
None.
Okay. So let's see here. All right, so all right, I'm just going to take a moment to score this real quick.
Okay.
So that's 4. Okay. All right, so Lizanne, you scored 10 on this anxiety inventory. That tells me that your anxiety is very low.
Okay.
So this also doesn't seem to be a pressing matter for you right now.
Okay.
So we are almost done. I just need to do one more inventory, and this is called the Michigan Alcoholism Screening Test. And it's going to be 24 yes or no questions that will just kind of assess how drinking alcohol has been working out for you. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
Alrighty. So first question, do you feel you are a normal drinker? And by normal, we mean you drink less than or as much as most other people.
No.
Okay. Have you ever awakened the morning after some drinking the night before and found that you could not remember a part of the evening?
Yes.
Okay. Does your wife, husband, a parent, or other near relative ever worry or complain about your drinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you stop drinking without a struggle after 1 or 2 drinks?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever feel guilty about your drinking? Okay. Do friends or relatives think you are a normal drinker?
No.
Okay. Are you able to stop drinking when you want to?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I just dropped my pen. Okay, so that's. Yeah. Have you ever attended a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous?
No.
Okay. Have you gotten into physical fights when drinking?
Yes.
Has your drinking ever created problems between you and your wife, husband, a parent, or other relative?
Yes.
Okay. Has your wife, husband, or other family members ever gone to anyone for help about your drinking?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Have you ever lost friends because of drinking?
No.
Have you ever gotten into trouble at work or school because of drinking?
No.
Okay. Have you ever lost a job because of drinking?
No.
Have you ever neglected your obligations, your family, or your work for 2 or more days in a row because you were drinking?
No.
Okay. Do you drink before noon fairly often?
Yeah.
Have you ever been told you have liver trouble or psoriasis?
No.
Cirrhosis? Psoriasis?
No.
I might be mispronouncing that. I apologize.
Okay.
After heavy drinking, have you ever had delirium tremens or severe shaking, or heard voices, or seen things that were not really there?
No.
Okay. Have you ever gone to anyone for help about your drinking?
Yes.
Have you ever been in a hospital because of drinking?
No.
Have you ever been a patient in a psychiatric hospital or on a psychiatric ward of a general hospital where drinking was part of the problem that resulted in hospitalization?
No.
Have you ever been seen at a psychiatric or mental health clinic or gone to any doctor, social worker, or clergyman for help with an emotional problem where drinking was part of the problem?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been arrested for drunk driving, driving while intoxicated, or driving under the influence of alcoholic beverages?
No.
And have you ever been arrested or taken into custody, even for a few hours, because of other drunk behavior?
No.
Okay. All right. So, let's see here. So that's 2. All right, I'm just going to score this real quick.
Okay.
All right, that's 0, 0, 4, 0, 5. Okay, this one's a little trickier for me to score, honestly.
Take your time.
Hmm?
You can take your time.
Okay. All right, 6 and 7. That was a no. Okay, so that's 2. And then 8 and 9. Was no. 9 was 5. Okay, let's see. 10 was yes. 11 was no. 12 was no. 13 was no. 14 was no. 15 was no. 16 was yes. 17 was no. 18 was no. 19 was yes. 20 was no. 21 was no. 22, 23, 24. Okay. 2, 4, 5, 10, 12, 13, and 5 would be 18, and 2 would be 20. Okay. So, Bazan, it looks like on the MAST test, which is the Michigan Alcoholism Screening Test, you scored a 20. So it sounds like we might have a mild bit of difficulty in this area. So I would like to see you back next week, and we can start talking about talking more in depth about how this has been affecting you, and maybe come up with some goals. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sounds great. I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Okay. All right. And scene.
All right. I think I have to leave so it stops recording, but I'll come back.
Okay.